A new BMF champion has been crowned, and after the title was relinquished by Jorge Masvidal in his retirement, it seems fitting that a guy like Justin Gaethje would be the next in line for the position.
I love this though. I'm proud of myself, you know.
I mean, sure, the belt is a gimmick title, but if anyone deserves to be seen as the baddest man in the game, it's the fighter they call the highlight. And in the UFC 291 main event, Gaethje managed to put on yet another stunning performance, proving once again that his evolution is far from over. The last time he met Dustin Poirier inside the cage, he was a wild, unrefined brawler who fought at top speed no matter what his opponent was doing. And it was that loss to Poirier by 4th round TKO that forced Justin to take a long, hard look at himself and what he wanted to accomplish as a fighter. The Justin Gaethje who returned from that defeat, well, let's just say he evolved and he wasn't the same fighter. We've watched his evolution in that time since, and we've marveled how he has been able to, well, in his own coach's words, control chaos. But for as much as his wins over Rafael Fiziev, Michael Chandler, and others were pretty important, Saturday night's main event showed us a different level entirely. Now, the opening round in there with Poirier was pretty evenly contested. Gaethje was doing excellent work with his leg kicks as usual, piling up the numbers on Dustin while using his expert timing to ensure maximum damage with each leg kick that he landed. But Poirier looked good in that round. His trademark Philly shell defense was causing some issues for Gaethje. He was landing, sure, but Poirier's ability to deal with a powerful puncher was really the story of round one. Dustin's knack for rolling with the punches and at the speed at which he can get his defense up to block incoming damage, well, it's just a lot of fun to watch. And in that opening round, there was a concerning pattern emerging in Gaethje's own defense. Dustin was throwing kicks at Gaethje with the intent of catching him with the knee, and the highlight repeatedly ducked his head into the danger zone. It was picked up almost immediately by the commentary team, and when round one finished, Poirier's corner were very clearly looking to exploit it. It was a tough round to score as both men had their moments, but the main takeaway was that Poirier was making reads, and Gaethje was doing well in his ability to mix it up. In round two, the crowd started to fight amongst themselves for superiority, with the Poirier fans and the Gaethje fans each trying to drown each other out. But at first we began to see more of the same, with Justin's boxing-heavy approach being met with Poirier's Philly shell. But around the 1 minute mark, in a moment of pure genius, Gaethje channeled Leon Edwards and faked with a right hand before coming up top with a massive head kick. The impact? Well, it was tremendous, and Poirier crashed to the canvas, and then Justin moved in to finish him off with one final shot. Now, Justin Gaethje had just pulled off the biggest highlight of his career, arguably the best win of his career, having taken revenge over an old foe with a stunning mid-round adjustment. Now, the Philly shell is an excellent means of protecting yourself from a heavy puncher in a firefight, but Gaethje managed to totally throw Poirier off by faking that straight right and then coming up top with the right leg head kick. And though Poirier's defense is pretty good, it simply didn't stand up to a head kick like this. Now, this was not a technique that Justin Gaethje often goes to. In fact, it looked like it was pulled directly from Leon Edwards' playbook. But that surprise factor is what made this KO so great. Gaethje is not exactly known for kicks above the belt, but man, this was just about as perfect an execution of technique as you could ever hope for. Jorge Masvidal was no doubt hoping that he would get a place the BMF title around the waist of his longtime friend and teammate, Dustin Poirier.
And Dustin again, DP, you'll be back stronger than ever, my brother, because you're a real motherfucker, man. Love it.
But last night, well, it was Gaethje's night. It was a stunning finish to the main event, capping off a truly wild fight card from top to bottom. But the question now is, what does the UFC decide to do with the lightweight title picture? Charles Oliveira is, of course, the number one contender, and he will be taking on Islam Makhachev next, a prize that he most certainly earned after his excellent finish of Beneil Dariush last time around. But if Justin Gaethje does decide to take some time off, there is no doubt that he should be considered next in line for the reigning champion, whoever that may be, in early 2024. Now, there is a chance that Alexander Volkanovski will find a way to skip ahead of everyone, which does still make a lot of sense given that he is the pound-for-pound king. But Gaethje didn't just edge out a narrow decision. He managed to violently KO one of the biggest stars in the sport, earning his revenge from an earlier loss in 2018 that altered the course of his career forever. Now, it's too early to know just yet, but you are going to be seeing this finish once the knockout of the year discussions start happening. And for Poirier, it is a defeat that could, well, put him in a very tough spot within the lightweight title picture. I mean, he's not really a fighter who seems set on competing for a whole lot longer. Dustin has been in the game since 2009, and in those two blockbuster pay-per-view matchups against Conor McGregor, he most certainly earned himself enough money to retire comfortably. It would take him at least another win, maybe two, to realistically break into a title picture. And to be honest, there is a good chance the diamond is down to his last one or maybe two fights. For Gaethje, the pairing of Makhachev and Oliveira will serve to be his next opponent, and no matter which way it goes, those are two very tough matchups for him. But if there's one thing we have learned about Justin Gaethje over the years, it's that he is not willing to rest on his laurels. No, this is a man who is committed to improving, to evolving, and if he does have to come up against the chaos of Charles Oliveira or the overwhelming pressure and physicality of Islam Makhachev, people would be wise not to rule him out. It's kind of crazy how we're 12 fights into the Highlight's career and he is still very clearly one of the 2 or 3 most exciting athletes in MMA today. This man's run is not going to last forever, folks. And as we saw with his former opponent and UFC 291 co-star Tony Ferguson, MMA is a cruel, cruel sport. Now, you'd all be well served to enjoy him while he's here, because even if Justin Gaethje can't get the better of Makhachev or Oliveira, when he does eventually retire, he will most certainly be missed. So that is all for today. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because it is very important to us, and thank you all in advance.